Imagine tuning in for 2 minutes and realizing you've just witnessed the first flicker of what might become the next global football superstar. That's the kind of story we're about to unpack, so stick around. This is the tale of Kaowan Basile, a 13-year-old Brazilian whose talent, lineage, and early accolades are already setting Twitter timelines and talk shows alight. Brazil is a country where football is breathed more than it is played, a place that has produced Pelé, Ronaldo, Ronaldinho, Kaká, and Neymar. Icons that didn't just win trophies, they shaped culture. Into that story tradition has stepped Kaowan Basile, a boy whose footballing DNA was given early and clearly. His father, André Dezinho, was a professional footballer who once pulled on the shirt of Corinthians, one of Brazil's most historic clubs, and it's clear that the lessons, work ethic, and love for the game passed from father to son. But this story isn't just about pedigree, it's about performance. Observers who whisper that Kaowan may already have outstripped his father are not speaking lightly. They point to hard evidence on the pitch. Raised in the Santos Academy, the very institution that produced Neymar, Kaowan has been tracked as a rare talent whose dribbling, passing, and finishing are catching attention not just locally but internationally. At just 12 years old, he captained Santos under-16 side to victory in an international tournament, a feat that sent a loud message. Age will not hold him back when leadership, vision, and technical ability come together. That tournament was more than a trophy. It was proof that in high-pressure, competitive settings, Kaowan can marshal a team and deliver. Scouts and coaches have watched him beat defenders with quick changes of direction and composed one-on-one finishing, and they note the refined quality of his passing and spatial awareness. He doesn't merely run at defenders. He reads the rhythm of the game and makes choices that lift the team. Santos themselves have not been passive cheerleaders. They recently signed an image rights agreement with Kaowan, a rare step for someone so young and only previously seen in association with Neymar in the club's history. That commercial validation from a club as discerning as Santos signals institutional belief that this is a player worth investing in. He's already being prepared for Santos under-18 squad, an accelerated pathway through age groups that underscores both physical readiness and tactical maturity. Coaches and football analysts consistently emphasize that Kaowan brings more than raw skill. He plays with joy, and that joy seems to keep him calm under pressure. The best young talents combine technical polish with a relaxed, expressive energy that makes them unpredictable and magnetic on the ball. Kaowan fits that description. In today's connected world, talent is amplified not only by goals and assists, but also by storytelling. Kaowan's story has gone viral on social platforms. His Instagram following has surged toward the 2 million mark, and social media, with its global reach, has helped transform a local prodigy into an international name. The commercial side arrived early. Reportedly, at 8 years old, Kaowan signed an endorsement agreement with a global sports brand, a move that set a record for a player of his age and thrust the child into headlines that compared his trajectory to other global superstars. For context, Neymar's professional partnership with major sports brands was established in his early teens, and Lionel Messi's similar milestone came around age 15. So Kaowan's early corporate recognition is unusual and speaks to his marketability. Yet with that marketability comes responsibility and risk. The next Neymar label is alluring for headlines, but perilous for a developing talent. Young players with prodigious ability sometimes buckle under premature expectations, and history is dotted with gifted teenagers who, for one reason or another, did not fulfill the early hype. That's why the surrounding ecosystem matters as much as the talent itself. Family, club, coaching staff, managers, and mental health support teams must prioritize steady development over instant payoff. Kaowan's case requires carefully calibrated guidance, ensuring that training, match load, and media exposure are balanced so his body and mind can mature in step with his fame. On the technical side, what makes Kaowan intriguing is his versatility. He can play as a forward, operate as a winger, or drop deeper to influence play like a creative playmaker. This multidimensional skill set gives coaches tactical flexibility and heightens his potential value at senior level. He combined sharp dribbling with intelligent passing choices and the temperament to make decisive runs in the box. His spatial awareness suggests he could adjust to multiple roles as he grows into a physically mature athlete. Analysts who have watched him repeatedly note that while his speed is an asset, it is his decision-making, when to accelerate, when to combine, when to hold the ball, that distinguishes him from many other young talents. That nuance often separates good youth players from those who make the leap to world class. At the national level, the obvious milestones for Kaowan are progression into Brazil's junior national squads and consistent performances in international youth tournaments. Those stages are the modern pathway to global recognition. Perform well for a national youth team, show consistency against diverse opposition, and the calls from top clubs and senior national team managers start to arrive. But beyond raw talent and early contracts, Kaowan's long-term prospects will be defined by continuity. Sustained minutes in competitive matches, a clear developmental plan at Santos, smart representation, and the psychological resources to handle sudden fame. Right now, the narrative is full of hope, and it should be, but it must be coupled with realism. Fans and media should celebrate his achievements, not bury him under unrealistic labels. For viewers who love football, Kaowan is a fascinating player to follow because he embodies both the romantic and the practical side of the sport. A romantic backstory of football. Family, roots in a revered Brazilian academy, and commercial recognition at a shockingly young age, and a practical display of the technical and tactical skill scouts look for in true prospects. If you want reasons to keep an eye on him, here are the essentials. He captained an under-16 squad to an international title at only 12. He trains in Santos Academy, nursery to legends, and has already signed an image rights agreement with the club. He has early commercial ties that led to a high-profile endorsement at an age far younger than most peers, and his social footprint is massive for a teenager, giving him both fan support and media attention that can accelerate his career if managed correctly. Still, for every young star vaulted into the spotlight, the management of workload, expectations, injuries, and mental health determines whether potential becomes greatness or an unfulfilled promise. We should therefore applaud Santos for taking concrete steps, commercial and developmental, but also press for responsible stewardship, measured exposure, gradual integration into older age groups, and a support system that prioritizes long-term growth. The broader lesson here is one all football fans can appreciate. Talent is always plentiful, but the rarest commodity is durable development. Clubs and families that scaffold a player's rise without exploiting the moment tend to produce long-lasting stars. In Kaowan's case, the ingredients are present: talent, lineage, a top academy, and early professional interest. But the recipe will require patience. What might the next year look like? Expect to see him tested regularly with the under-18s, monitored for physical readiness, and perhaps invited to youth national camps if his form continues. If he excels in these environments, top-level clubs in Brazil and abroad will intensify scouting, while his social media profile will continue to balloon. Yet, crucially, the ideal trajectory is not a sprint to a marquee transfer, but a carefully paced climb that ensures he is technically, tactically, and mentally prepared for every step up. To our viewers, if you're a football lover, make Kaowan Basile one of the names you follow. Subscribe for updates, hit the bell icon so you don't miss his next big match clips, and watch how a youth prospect from Santos develops. You may be witnessing the opening chapter of a global career. Remember, too, that comparing young players to legends is natural but reductive. Kaowan's journey will be his own, and, with the right support, it could add a brilliant new page to Brazil's footballing history. Finally, a small but important reminder. Celebrate the kid who plays with joy, support the structures that nurture him, and stay critical of headlines that demand instantaneous greatness. Talent, like glass, needs careful polishing. With patient hands, Kaowan Basile could one day reflect the light of a true superstar. Until then, enjoy the ride, respect the process, and keep watching. Ask ChatGPT.